Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bragging Rights 2013. Probably one of the most important pay-per-views you will ever see, I can guarantee it. We have a stacked card as Smackdown and Raw go head-to-head to prove which really is the bigger show. The main event of tonight's evening, that's a sentence I completely botched, is John Cena, the man who has abandoned his principles. The man has become a nightmare of professional wrestling. Maybe an antichrist, but we do have Kevin Steen, so there's that. Versus Kofi Kingston, the man who had a meteoric rise to the top. Not like Kofi Mania of this year, but even more just focused one. He won Money in the Bank. He won the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. He's here to prove a point. These two forces finally collide for the first time ever in the ring, as long with some other fantastic matches. Let's just jump right into the card. In our pre-bout action, we have Austin Aries defending his title against Xavier Woods, the former champion, and Tanahashi. Two guys, I really wish I could have gotten this on the main card, but I honestly was not able to, so this did have to make the kickoff. And Austin Aries defeats Xavier Woods and Tanahashi, making defense number 2 of his NXT title. So Austin Aries is still the NXT champ as we open up to the actual main part of the show, in which we just have basically just a big old segment. Welcome to Bragging Rights. Video pyro and shit going off. All that kind of jazz. And let's just get right into the matches. In our first match, in 88B+, always a good way to start the show, the Motor City Machines defend their WWE World Tag Team titles against SmackDown's Miami Vices. About 15 minutes when they're able to hit the Made in Detroit onto Roderick Strong. Good effort put up by Miami Vices, but it just was not enough. And Raw has 1 point going into the first segment. I believe the next match is Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. And in 89A, we have Sheamus, Alberto Del Rio, and Mark Henry taking on Team Raw's Randy Orton, Evan Bourne, and John Morrison. And in a superb match, Team SmackDown picks up the win when Sheamus was able to pick up the win because, well, there's no other easy way to say it. Randy Orton comes in and just fucking destroys Randy Orton. The music hits, everybody stops. Randy Orton Brock Lesnar comes out. It's enough of a distraction. Bro kick, 1, 2, 3. And after that, Brock Lesnar proceeds to destroy Team Raw. Not only Randy Orton, Evan Bourne, John Morrison, and surprising enough, John Morrison, Evan Bourne, they're down. But as Brock goes to the ring, we see some life from Randy Orton. But Sheamus and his team have managed to done it. They give a win to Team SmackDown. And we have an opening segment in which Kofi Kingston, he's backstage, New Japan-esque, talking about both The Miz and John Cena. He says, honestly, after what The Miz told him this week on Raw, he's actually pretty impressed. He's decently impressed with how good The Miz's attitude has been. You can't deny the fact that the guy just has that kind of attitude now. He hopes The Miz is determined, but right now he can't worry about The Miz. He needs to worry about John Cena. He tells John Cena he's seen his path of destruction he's laid out. He put away people like Christian, Mark Henry, Sin Cara, Dolph Ziggler, but he's never faced a man like Kofi Kingston, a man who has one drive, and that's pro wrestling. And with that, he just ends the promo just saying he's going to beat John Cena. Can Kofi Kingston become the first man to beat John Cena? We'll have to find out. And in an 88B+, I really thought this match would... What held... I'll look at the dirt sheet to hold this match off. But Perfect Fortunes do it. They pick up the win against Kings of Wrestling. They get that all needed win they were talking about when Dolph Ziggler hits the Dream Street into zigzag combo onto Antonio Cesaro. Boom. Perfect Fortunes have arrived on the scene. And what drove this match down? Kept for short match length. It was literally 19 minutes, but whatever. So there's that. That's always fun. But yeah, no, great match by these two guys. Absolutely awesome from these two. And let's go to the next segment, in which a 95A, this really did better than the fuck, never mind. In a kind of a calmer bout, a non-SmackDown versus Raw match, AJ Lee makes defense number 7 of her Divas title against 3 other women when she manages to hit Velvet with the Shining Wizard. Velvet being kind of the weak link, but these other women they do an awesome job. I mean, look, AJ Lee had a 93, Madison Lane had a 95, Katie Lee with an 83. The Divas division is nothing to shake a stick at. I should probably feel bad for thinking this match would get a low rating, but honestly, so happy this match got a good rating. But we have to move on. And we see Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Raw GMs. They're sitting backstage, and Shawn's like, currently I have, the one up against you right now. You know that, Austin, 2-1. And Austin's like, yeah, I guess you do. I guess you really do. And he goes, you know what? I'm gonna get a beer. So he goes to get a beer, and the door is kind of locked. And Austin's like, that's not how a door works. And he tries to move the door, and he goes, Shawn, get on the phone, call somebody to get someone to move this shit. There must be something blocking the door. And surprisingly, after that, we kind of just leave the scene, so what the hell's that all about? And in a 93A, awesome wrestling, great heat, Daniel Bryan gets Raw another point by defeating Drew McIntyre by submission with the cattle mutilation. Probably would have done a little bit better, but I'm going to assume it's counts for match length. Short match length. I can't have matches less than 17, 18 minutes, guys. Come on, bro. They want every match to be 20 minutes. This is I think it might be something because I'm global now, but honestly, still, these guys put on awesome matches. Daniel Bryan and Drew McIntyre, just 2 great workers. And we see the Big Show making his way to the ring. And the Big Show, he's making his way to the ring. He's got, that big matchup against Colt Cabana. So the U.S. champion makes his way to the ring. Colt Cabana, though, when you think about it, obviously there was shenanigans going on. But he did beat Ryback. Ryback was on a huge roll, and he beat him for the Intercontinental Championship. He also was facing Tyler Breeze at the time. The Big Show had to have Kane's help to beat Yujiro Takahashi. So it's kind of weird. The little man overcame the odds, while the big man had to also overcome odds, apparently. 2 guys who kind of needed, 2 polar opposites in styles. Colt Cabana, the comedic technical wrestler, versus the serious brute in the Big Show. Which one of them can pick up the win? And it's the Big Show. As he hits a choke slam, the Big Show have good chemistry, all things considered, but it was just never going to be. As Colt Cabana tries his best, he does out-wrestle, obviously, the Big Show, but once he starts getting his hands on him, it's all over. And it's a choke slam for the 1-2-3, and Raw has another point to spare. And we see, remember what I said about Randy Orton? Just kidding, lol. Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar are beating the shit out of each other. Randy Orton is just, the backstage is being interns, zebras flying everywhere, as Jim Ross would say. Randy Orton's just beating Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar usually gets the hang of it. And these 2 guys, their feud that has kind of developed over the bit has definitely not gone away. And you got to think there's going to be some repercussions for Brock Lesnar for costing Raw a match. That could have been the end-all, be-all, for Raw. Raw literally could have won. They could have won the whole series by now. But actually, no, they wouldn't have. I'm getting my points mixed up and everything. But, they had that opportunity, and Brock Lesnar just up and ruined it. So, what can you say? Brock's probably got to be punished for something like that, you'd have to think at least. And in a 96A, we have Wade Barrett, Rey Mysterio going one-on-one, and Rey picks up the win for SmackDown with the 619 into the West Coast pop for a big win. It's officially tied. SmackDown and Raw are neck and neck, and we all knew it probably was going to come down to this. We all knew it was going to be like that. You just had to have figured. But now we're getting into the real main event, because it is the main event. But also, just Rey Mysterio's the type of guy, in the save that, I have hopes for, but then he lets me down. But then, just every once in a while, once I finally give up hope on him, he comes back and he's like, yep, I'm still here. And I'm like, yeah, you are here, Rey. That's really good. So Rey Mysterio getting the all-important win on his way to he's just got that all-important win to making me not know how to speak words, apparently. It's late at night. I just recorded like 5 of these in a row. Please be patient with me. But yeah, no. We're here, guys. It's about to go down. John Cena makes his way to the ring. Hustle, loyalty, respect, a rap song being played. He's got the hoodie. He's carrying the World Heavyweight Championship around his waist. He's not representing SmackDown. He's representing the new John Cena. John Cena is just a monster ever since he won this belt. He is the defining character of SmackDown. So, while, he's mostly out for himself, it is fitting that he is the one that leads SmackDown into the final charge. He has been the one, he's destroyed he's destroyed The Rock. He's destroyed Christian so bad he left the company. He destroyed Dolph Ziggler. Mark Henry, Sin Cara. So many people have fallen to John Cena that it's amazing that John Cena hasn't been... Well, it's amazing he hasn't been arrested for assault, considering Vince McMahon... I don't even know why I'd forget that he literally almost killed Vince McMahon by throwing him off an actual... He threw him off Titan Towers, for God's sakes. The man's in a coma, and he's not responding. John Cena is an absolute monster, and I think there's only really one man that has any chance of maybe saving him. And that man is Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston... What can you say about him in the series? When I first started the series, I pegged him for success. It was before Kofi Mania, so they freaking copied me, WWE. Send me my check, Bruce Pritchard, you fuck. But Kofi Kingston has been the ultimate face. He's not fighting odds. He's just a wrestler. And he's probably the best on the planet right now. CM Punk, Wade Barrett, the championship scramble, which had like 80 people, including Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, Evan Bourne, Wade Barrett, Punk. The names he beat Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam clean in the ring like it was nothing. This man is probably the only man that has a chance to beat John Cena. And I'll tell you what, this match, I would just booking it, is just two guys determined to beat each other. John Cena wants to be known as the best. He's the face of pro wrestling, the most talked about man in the sport. Kofi Kingston is just a man who looks to prove himself against anybody, everybody. When you get these two personalities together, it's just hard-hitting action. There's probably attitude adjustments around days. There's power bombs. Kofi takes to the top rope. John Cena's brawling like he usually does. STFs, counters for everything. If Kofi wants to bring out, the Trouble in Paradise, John will counter into the attitude adjustment, which Kofi Kingston might counter into an SOS. We're straight up going like New Japan-esque with this match. I normally don't associate that with like WWE style, but I feel it's fitting for a match of this caliber. It's important. This is going to be the 6-star match that hopefully, although I'm saying that now the rating is going to be like an 80, they don't click. But it's just a match, the most important match of the night, not just because of the silly Raw vs. SmackDown, because after this match, things are going to change. And at the end of the day, I think we all knew how it was going to end. John Cena beats Kofi Kingston. SmackDown wins bragging rights after John hits the attitude adjustment in a 99 A-star match. Kofi Kingston tried his hardest, but you know what? Sometimes it's just not enough, and what really can you do? But, you got to applaud Kofi Kingston, the fight he put in. But John Cena still is the most dominant face in pro wrestling right now, and you can't deny that. Really wish it was 100, but, now I'm just being greedy with it after I was afraid it was going to be like a 80. But, yeah, no. But we're not done. After the match, Kofi Kingston, he's bloodied in the ring. The guy can barely stand. He's a mess. And John Cena looks down at him. Perhaps in John Cena's mind, some respect is shown, like, thrown out to Kofi Kingston. He doesn't visibly show it at all. Probably not even mentally. I'm probably just making shit up. You know, but he did take John Cena to the limit, and I think John Cena understands that. Probably more than Mark Henry or Dolph or Christian could ever have hoped to have done. So John walks to the back, and as he's walking out, the crowd erupts as Triple H and Stephanie are coming out. Triple H, he locks eyes with John Cena, the CEO. John beat the living shit out of Triple H 2 months ago. You gotta feel that there's some tension there. But he doesn't look at John. He looks to the ring. He's got a microphone. And he begins to address Kofi Kingston, of all people, who he can't even stand or even see with the blood in his eyes. But Triple H just begins to talk. He says, "Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Raw's Kofi Kingston, your WWE champion, the people's WWE champion." Everyone's clapping and cheering and everything. "Kofi, you fought hard tonight, farther than I've ever seen you fight before. Not against Brock, not against Wade, Punk. You've had one of the greatest title reigns this company has ever had." And the fans are like, "Kofi, Ko," and all that shit. And Triple H goes, "But as we all know, all good things must come to an end. You see, Kofi, we've been watching you, me and Steph, and we agree, your little rise to the top has been so cool, and it certainly has benefited the ratings. Hell, I saw your rise to the top with my own eyes. You beat me at Money in the Bank 2012 to get that briefcase that let you cash in on CM Punk. Of course, Brock Lesnar was kicking my ass inside out so you could get it, and that's how you got it, but that's besides the point, and fans are now visibly confused at what's going on. You see, Kofi, you and the rest of the locker room has taken WWE out of a rut. Before the summer of 2012, we were hemorrhaging money. Views were in the toilet. Hell, that garbage bin in Florida was starting to look like a threat. But then Vince McMahon stepped aside. He gave you the tools to take WWE to the global spot in sports entertainment. You guys had the freedom, the ability, new hires, new matches. Hell, we've never heard of some guys making waves here on Raw. It truly is. We truly have made WWE the greatest place in pro wrestling. What you don't know is, Kofi, though, is that while all this was happening, something was going on behind the scenes. Me and Steph, we slowly moved in to do what needs to be done, because at this very point, WWE is officially no longer pro wrestling. It's sports entertainment. You guys have given me a kingdom, and now it's time I build up a dynasty. Kofi, me and Steph are rooting for you. Honestly, we were. You were supposed to be in this plan of ours. The name Kofi Kingston should have been in lights. Your face with the championship in Times Square. The Tonight Show, Saturday Night Live. You could have had it all, but you just couldn't get it done. And don't take that the wrong way. In another world, we'd be shaking your hand right now. You would have beaten John Cena. But now, we have to do what's best for business. And Triple H laughs. You know what? Scratch that, what I said about shaking your hand. What is about to happen to you was destiny. The Miz walks out from the back. No ego, no cockiness, nothing. Pure determination on his face. Triple H gets in the ring. Kofi has taken a defensive position. He doesn't even know what's going on, but it's useless. Just kick to the gut pedigree right there. The Miz looks him down. He's looking at him like a piece of meat, like a lion. He grabs his head and just hits him with the skull-crushing finale. The Miz puts a foot on Kofi Kingston as the referee's still in the ring. He's just in shock. Before Triple H grabs him right by the collar and just screams, "Count the fucking pin." The referee is still obviously shocked. Goes down on one knee. He goes down to count it. But before he can do it, Steph finally says something. She hasn't said anything. Looks right in the ref and just says, "Slowly." And in the slowest count ever, Kofi Kingston's dream has become a nightmare as The Miz wins the WWE title. As we end Bragging Rights 2013. 98A, what can you say? we got a new WWE champion. And you know what? That brings an end to season 0 of this YouTube series. And I'd like to welcome everybody to season 1.